It's Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Moor Beer Company. And it's a can of their So Hop. It's a 4.1% ABV Australian style beer. It's called a Galaxy Golden Pale. 440 milliliter can. It's limited edition. You see Australia there with all the hops on the map there. Looks fantastic. Got the kangaroo there with a can of Moor beer in the pouch. I'm a big fan of this company. I like the fact that they got this kind of live beer thing going on. You can see it here, natural live beer that says along the top. I'll talk about that a little bit more, but first of all, I want to get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. It's can conditioned beer, so I've just swirled up that little bit of sediment. That's all part of that live beer, which we'll talk about. I suppose now the beer's poured out, we can talk about it quite quickly now. You can see all the sediment in the bottom of the glass. It's got a 1 finger white head. And it's nice and hazy. And it's on its way to being amber, but I'm going to say straw coloured. But if you have a look at the sediment in the bottom of that glass, it's little amounts of yeast there that's purposely been put in the bottom of the can. Now, there's little amounts of residual sugar in the beer when it's in the can. And the yeast mops up those residual sugars and it carbonates the beer naturally. So the byproduct of yeast is carbonation and alcohol. So it may have got a touch stronger, like literally not much stronger at all, but the most important thing about this is that it's creating carbonation in the beer. So the carbonation you see in the glass is carbonation that has been created whilst the beer has been in the can. And I think that's very clever. It's a very, very clever thing to do. And going forward in 2022, we've had this massive kind of CO2 cost increase. It's gone up like 600%, something crazy. And there's a lot of brewers who are struggling with that kind of price increase with the CO2, naturally, of course. So I think going forward, maybe 2023, 2024, you might see a lot of breweries going down this road of can conditioning their beer, bottle conditioning their beer, creating that carbonation naturally with the second fermentation process. So with that said, with that done, let's get the aroma. Oh, yeah. Now, sometimes with a beer, you can smell the balance of the beer. And the aroma is a balance. It's definitely a balance. It's got a little bit of kind of sweetness over there, but you pick up a little bit of malt as well, maybe a touch of earthiness as well, a bit of spiciness. And then you're picking up that fantastic Galaxy hop over here. That is just marmalade. Fantastic marmalade aromas. It smells incredible. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yes. Tastes like a liquid tropical candy bar, if that even exists. There's a tingle of carbonation to start things off. You get that little bit of earthiness, that little bit of sweetness to begin with, that little bit of peppery spiciness. You're greeted with some cereals in there as well. You're greeted by some almost like digestive biscuits or wafer malts coming through. Wafer crackers, that's what I'm looking for, like cracker bread flavours. Really wonderful. Really wonderful. The drinkability is incredible. 4.1% ABV, it's incredibly drinkable, incredibly refreshing. And then you're hit with this crescendo of like marmalades, really. It's like your grandma stirring the marmalade on the stove, homemade marmalade. You get the kind of oranges and the spices and the pepperiness. Really lovely beer, really lovely beer. And now I've drank some of the beer, I'm able to, first of all, I will rock it back and forth. Then we'll give it a bit of a swirl round, but you can see that carbonation. You can see that head, all done naturally in the can. We're heading for, it's unfortunate to say, but I've been speaking to a lot of brewers recently. A lot of brewers have been ringing me up and having conversations with me, asking me how my business is going. And I've always been open. Now, I'm going to say not more. I'm not suggesting at all that Moor have rang me up. It's not Moor. I've had conversations with other brewers. They've been ringing me over the last few weeks with this kind of like cost of living thing. And they've been asking me, how is my business doing? And I've always wanted to be open. I always am open. And I said, look, I think 2023 is going to be a really interesting year for beer. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be kind of, I think whoever gets through 2023 will flourish thereafter. Whoever can get through, sail this ship through this nasty storm that's coming in 2023. I'd love to say all of the breweries and all of the people in the industry can get through this. But it's going to be really tough. But if we can get through this and see the other side, I think we've had this situation of 2020. It's been a bit of a bad few years, haven't it? We've had 2020, we had that whole situation. Then we had the remnants of the whole Brexit thing for breweries, which was difficult, exporting beer. And now we have this whole cost of living thing. It's been like the perfect storm for brewers. But I'm thinking if we can all get through 2023, I think we'll start to see green shoots of recovery. And I think everybody hopefully will start doing well again. Why did I bring that up? Why have I started talking about that now? Maybe because I've been talking about the canned conditioning and how some breweries, like Moor Beer Company, where they don't have to buy an awful lot of CO2, they may be a little bit more kind of better set up than others. So maybe if you're watching, if there's a brewery watching, maybe you can start thinking about can conditioning beer or bottle conditioning beer to cut down on your CO2. You're probably already thinking about it. But this is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. It's all about the natural live brewing, natural live beer, sorry. There's not really much on the side of the can about the beer. The hops are Galaxy hops. Right, I'm going to rate it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic beer. It's really tasty, really good look to it, really good flavours, really good aromas. I like that. I like that enough to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.